to economy, to business, to security. Every story that matters, that's what we're looking at. We just don't bring you the headlines. That's what we can assure you. We don't just reveal these stories. We delve into the talking points from their stories, and that is why my in-house analyst Wizeman Ajayi is set to do today for us on the program. Ajayi is there again. Good morning, Wiseman.
Thank you so much, Big Josh.
It's good to have you again on the set with me on the program. Let me remind you that you can join us on Facebook on Adamimogo 105.1 FM, Adamimogo 105.1 FM. Do well to drop your comments as we begin to review and dissect the talking points from the stories. That is how you can make your contribution. It's our duty to give you the platform to help you amplify your voice so that your representatives can hear you clearly on Adamimogo 105.1 FM, and that will definitely spur them to do the needful, give you what you need, what they promised you. We're talking about dividends of democracy. A Punch newspaper is there. The Nation newspaper, Vanguard, Daily Post. I've got the cable. I hope to also have something from The Guardian. Headlines first before we begin to review these stories. The Nation newspaper, my house was ransacked by troops over a Delta killing, says the clerk. Governor, my state epicenter for kidnapping and banditry. Okay, which of the governors is saying that? Zamfara State Governor, yes, we'll get to that. Kidnappers should be treated as terrorists, says Tinubu. Well, this is also from The Nation. Adams Igbo face off deepens despite Oni's peace move. And on the Punch newspaper, you can see that picture of Gani Adams and that of Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igbo, assassination allegation. My voice note distorted, says Gani Adams. And FIU uncovers IPOP's UK US sells $160,000 payment. CBN EFCC probe banks, firms over alleged forex racketeering. 24.5% interest rate, private sector foresees high inflation, massive job cuts in this Nigeria. And Obasanjo saying unemployment responsible for rising banditry, kidnapping. That's Obasanjo telling federal government. I don't know if Wiseman will agree with that. We'll get there. Slain soldiers for burial today. Military demands killers capture. And more headlines coming your way from Vanguard newspaper. Okwama, how government security bodies have failed to rein in militant leader. That's according to an investigation by Vanguard. APC primaries, all eyes on Tinubu's anointed candidates in Ondo as contestants slug it out. That same story from Obasanjo, former president. Unemployment fueling rising banditry, kidnapping in Nigeria. Well, this is coming the same day when the president is saying that kidnappers will be treated as terrorists. Wiseman shaking his head already. So I said you can check us out on Facebook. Do well to drop your comment. Before that, ensure that you like that post, share the post, and then drop your comments. That your comment respect is very, very important to me. I like to have a robust conversation, divergent views and opinions on the talking points from these stories. Well, let's start with this insecurity issue and the statement credited to former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Apart from the Facebook, you can also go on YouTube. Yes, Adamimogo 105.1 FM. Go on YouTube to watch us if that is what is convenient for you. You can check that out on YouTube, Adamimogo 105.1 FM. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube page, please do well to do that right away. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has linked the growing activities of bandits and kidnappers to the unemployment situation in the country. Obasanjo spoke during his address at the 9th International Trade Exhibition and Conference on Agro-Food Plastics, Printing and Packaging, which was held in Lagos yesterday. The trade fair was jointly organized by Fair Trade Mesh and the Organization for Technology Advancement of Cold Chain in West Africa. According to the former president, of course, if we're able to achieve this, it will improve our security. Part of our insecurity are men and women that are not properly engaged. If we're not able to give them employment, there will be less of them getting involved in banditry, in kidnapping, and in doing various other criminal activities that they get involved in. Obasanjo noted. The former president, who described himself as a madman for agriculture, said there was need to promote agribusiness for food security, nutrition security, employment, wealth creation, poverty elimination, and income generation, particularly foreign exchange. Wiseman, before I get your thoughts, look at this headline that says kidnappers should be treated as terrorists, says Tinubu. So let's look at the two issues together. First off, Obasanjo's comments about unemployment, fueling insecurity, kidnapping, banditry in Nigeria.
You see, you have Obasanjo as somebody who should not be telling us about unemployment.
Obasanjo should not be telling us about unemployment.
Yes, because we need to know how many people he employed as president of Nigeria.
When he was president, 1999 to 2007.
Yes, and he needs to come and tell us how many factories, companies, and industries were killed during his presidency. Because his presidency continued with the structural adjustment program, and several companies were killed. His presidency continued with neoliberalism, and massive unemployment is there. Nevertheless, his position is correct.
His position is correct, because I was going to ask you that.
Yes.
Nevertheless, don't you think that we should look away
I said it last
from
week,
the messenger and focus on the message?
Yeah, but we need to be talking about the messenger and the message. Yes, we need to tell everybody this the clear-cut truth.
So he contributed to what we are facing right now in terms of...
Massively. He's the one that started privatization, this, privatization, that, seeds, needs, and a lot of other anti-people's programs.
Anti-people's programs,
yes.
Obasanjo's administration.
Yes, he spent a lot of Nigerian money on paying debts, and he also actually borrowed a lot of money. The same person as president also did recapitalization of banks, which helped to embolden banks and make banks as powerful as what it is today. You find the CBN being killed strategically under Obasanjo, the Nigerian Airways gone, the NEPA gone, all of the major commanding heights of the economy under him were finished. And that's why he himself even told Tinubu that you can't do the refineries, because Obasanjo has signed to World Bank and IMF positions that Nigeria should not be a production-based country. You understand what I'm saying? So when he's talking about unemployment, we need to ask him, how do we get the employment? Are you saying we go back to the Keynesian theory, which had been there before 1994, when the structural adjustment program was declared? You get it under Babangida. Buhari was to start it, but he didn't start well. He started with why. Babangida had to now use his Maradonaic style to now impose the structural adjustment program on us. And we also need to note that just a year before the structural adjustment program was being imposed, there was a discussion all around Nigeria as to which kind of idea can take Nigeria forward. And Nigerians unanimously said socialism, which means that Nigerians want a collectivization of the resources for the collective and managed by that collective. by the people themselves. So when Obasanjo is talking about unemployment as a cause of terrorism, terrorism started under him. Boko Haram started under the Obasanjo regime. You understand what I'm saying? So the Obasanjo regime itself, recently, El Mustafa was telling us of how the Obasanjo regime seeded the Bakassi Peninsula. It's one of the beginnings, the origins of terrorism in Nigeria today. Obasanjo's military handling of the Niger Delta militancy. It was just militancy. It was not even a militancy. It was an agitation before Obasanjo intervened militarily.
Okay.
And the cross of it all is that when Jaradua got to the place, he resolved the Niger Delta issue without the military and said it is not a military solution, it is a social problem, and we have to resolve it socially.
Well, Abiodun Olowolagba Ogbeni on Facebook, seems to subscribe to Obasanjo's position. He said Obasanjo got it right. That's about his message. I know you also said
yes,
that.
I said, yes,
so you
correct.
will expect this particular administration to tackle issues of unemployment headlong.
They are not interested, just like Obasanjo was not interested when he was president. Because they are assigned to neoliberalism. And in neoliberalism, you destate the state, you decongest the working population. And that was what Tinubu promised before he became president, that he was going to reduce the purchasing power of an average Nigerian. Obasanjo said it during his time now, that Nigerians are still using phones, mobile phones, and that Nigerians were not already picking foods from the dustbin.
All right, Wiseman, let's move to other issues. We have quite a lot of talking points on the newspapers today. Assassination allegation, my voice not distorted, says Gani Adams. I want you to react to this issue. It's been trending for a few days right now, and despite efforts by the Oni of Ife to get these parties, the warring parties, to sheath their swords, it appears that this particular issue has continued to exorbitate. Well, the Area Kakanfo of Yoruba land, Gani Adams, has warned against what he termed as the deliberate efforts by some individuals to drag his name in the mud, saying his silence should not be taken for cowardice. Adams, while speaking on the controversy generated by an audio clip, says he was ready to set the record straight on the various questions hanging in the balance on the alleged defamation contained in the clips, which he said was concocted, distorted, and disjointed. And the Punch had reported yesterday that Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Adeyemo, alias Sunday Igboho, and the Chief of Staff to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, Tayo Ayinde, had both threatened to drag the Area Kakanfo, Iba Gani Adams, to court for allegedly accusing them of plotting an assassination. Igboho and Ayinde, in separate pre-action letters, but their lawyers demanded that Adams should retract the said assassination claim against them, or they would drag him to court. Some Nigerians who are reacting already are saying there are more issues to this than this issue of defamation and assassination plot. And then Iba Gani Adams coming on board right now, the wise man, to say that the voice clip that everybody's getting to hear right now is distorted.
Well, let's hope that is distorted.
Let's hope that is distorted.
Yes. And let's also hope that the violence promised would not be. Because actually, I don't know why they are fighting.
Okay.
But like I told you so many times, when agitations, people's agitations, are being individualized, it becomes a pot of soup. So the Yoruba agitation has been individualized.
Individualized by
many of the agitators, from Adams to Igbo. It's become no more a Yoruba agenda, but some people's personal agenda. And that's why you see there is a lot of money in it. You understand? A lot of money in all of these agitations. Because so many Yorubas want to be Yoruba. So many Hausas want to be Hausa. So many Igbos want to be Igbo because Nigeria has tired them out. So people take opportunities of that by privatizing the struggles of all of these ethnic groups. The people have a right to self-determination, but must be a genuine It must be a self-determination that is pro-people, democratic, and collective. You get it?
I'm with you.
Not
Wiseman.
privatization. So for me, I feel very seriously that what is between Gani Adams and Igbo are not relevant to the socio-economic status quo of the Yoruba people as it is today. So two of them should be fighting what they are supposed to be fighting, not fighting in between them against themselves. They are supposed to be uniting the Yoruba people to rise up and say, under this government that is said Yoruba man is there, people are still buying gari at one of the costliest ever prices. People are still buying petrol when one of the costliest ever prices. A lot of resources. People cannot go to school again. The loan scheme that they said they want to give students, are there no Yoruba students there? There are. Why are people not rising for the issues and fighting over issues?
All right, quickly, we're still talking about the Okwama issue here. Just like we learned that the slain soldiers were buried today, and the military demanding the capture of the killers. And elder statesman Edwin Clark says his house was ransacked by troops over Delta killings. 17 slain military personnel were buried today, like I said. A rep calls for caution, professionalism. Do you think these military men are doing too much? You've talked about the fact that even mediating in that part of the country over these issues, primarily, shouldn't even be their responsibility. But the way things are right now, 17 military personnel have been killed. Do you think they are taking this too far? We've also had stories about that area, that part of the country being deserted, and women, children hiding in the bushes. Now, this coming from Edwin Clark, his house ransacked by soldiers.
What?
Maybe they're thinking he knows something about the killers.
And the thing is even that, he said he called the Lieutenant General Lee the day before they were killed.
Yeah.
And I never knew they were going to Okwama. And these are his areas. I told you it's a military, terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and all of it. They are military business. They are as well civilian, political business. They are commercial. I can bet it with you under Okwama today, there will be a large deposit of oil or what have you. And that's why some people are really interested in that place. So our position is very clear. The soldiers cannot be a judge in their own case. The federal government should withdraw the soldiers from Delta State communities and place it under police intelligence. That's my position.
But most times, Wiseman, when we have military intervention in what is naturally or primarily a kind of internal security issue. But it's when we find out that perhaps the police and other security agencies cannot handle this anymore. That is when we bring the military in.
Yeah. But we don't even need to bring the military in. We need to bring the people in.
The people, the police.
Yes, it's the people that matters.
Okay. Well, you can still drop your comment on Facebook. We have about 4 minutes to go on the program today. It's Daily Dose on Adamimogo 105.1 FM, where we review stories from the newspapers, top stories from the newspapers. We don't just review, we take it beyond the headlines, we take it beyond just a review. We delve into the talking points, and that's what Kunle Wizeman-Ajayi is doing in the studio this morning. Well, you have not reacted to the president's position on the kidnappers, that they should be treated as terrorists. The kidnappers should be treated as terrorists, says Tinubu. Wiseman.
They are terrorists.
They are terrorists.
Yes. The president should know that they are terrorists. And that's maybe he had been treating them as bandits or as just kidnappers. For me, they are terrorists.
The kidnappers were saying they are terrorists.
Yes.
So they should be given that
guns
treatment.
with them, you can't face them. If they are terrorists. Serious one.
Well, just 1 or 2 more headlines before we'll wrap it up on the program. I'm looking at APC primaries. All eyes on Tinubu's anointed candidate in Ondo as contestants. Look, that I know you are not a member of APC and you don't have, but of course I know you have interest in that particular state. Do you think the president is going to play a role in determining who his party presents? There have been times, of course, he's the president, he's the leader of the party, and he will be interested in that state. Should we be looking at this direction and who will emerge?
Well, I'm not really, just like you said, I'm not interested in the APC politics. But what I want to tell you is that they are not going to be a major determinant in terms of who becomes the president of Ondo State next.
The governor?
Even the president. Because Ondo State people are going to be having a test tube of political consciousness. They want to understand why they are where they are today. They want to understand why the former governor has taken us about 40 steps backward. How do we reconcile these steps and move forward? You understand what I'm saying? So that's what you have today very seriously in Ondo State, generally. As for the governorship candidates, there is this imposition by the presidency, but they will spend billions in the APC. You get it? And somebody is going to win that ticket. But what I also want to tell you is that those who are interested in President Tinubu's support for this governorship election in Ondo State are in it because of also getting the support of INEC, police, soldiers, and what have you during the next elections. So for me, Ondo State people should reject all of the major parties.
Of the major parties.
Because they have failed Ondo State drastically.
All right, we need to say our bye, sir. Thank you very much for joining us on Daily Dose on Adamimogo 105.1 FM. Wise man, we sincerely appreciate you for your time. Kunle Wizeman-Ajayi, for your time on the program this morning. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, 9:30 to 10 on Daily Dose. Then Fortuna Moshola General will be here. I will be back on Friday. But today, later today at about 2:15, join me on Game On, where we have thrills and chills and lots of entertainment, of course, a sports quiz. It's going to be a fun and a lot of excitement again. Have a great day. Bye for now.